To create new user accounts in RB9, you'll need to be logged in as a user that has administrative rights in the system. What you'll want to do is click on Setup and select Users and Groups. By default, RB will display all of the active user accounts you have previously set up in the system. To create a new account, what you'll want to do is click on the New button, and you'll start by filling in all the data fields. Now, notice that a couple of these fields have the red asterisk here, and those are the required fields. If you want to fill in all of the other data, you can, and you can be as minimal as you wish. So let's go ahead and give the user a first and last name. And notice after I fill in those two particular fields, I can come over to the full name field and utilize the drop-down menu, which will now display the first and last name in two ways to display it. I suggest keeping it proper first and last name. Now notice that the email is required here, so I can say Patty and give her email address. And notice the logon name here says use email address as the login name. This is something new to the system, and this is something we suggest because everyone knows their email address, so it makes it easy for them to be able to log in. Now this is an actual setting from the system preferences. So if you click on Setup and then go down to System Preferences under General and then Login, you'll notice right here this is an option, use email as logon name. I checked that. If that is unchecked, then when you create your user accounts, you'll actually have a place where you can type in their logon name, so you do have the options. So let's go ahead and give the user a password, and keep in mind that password is case sensitive. So let's go ahead and click Save, and we'll still remain in the user setup, and two new sections will appear at the bottom: the Groups section and the Business Units. These two are equally important in the new user setup. The Groups section refers to the security group that the particular user belongs to, thus giving them the access to the functions in RB. By default, every new account you create will belong to the users group, so they have normal access to specific functions in the system, not being the administrative stuff. Now, if I wanted to grant Patty access as an administrator, then I can add another security group to her setup. And the way I can do that is by clicking the Add button. And once you do that, over to the right, all of your security groups will appear. And so I want to make her an administrator, so I'll check administrators right here and click Save. That will automatically add the administrators group to her setup. So if I really wanted to, I can get rid of the extra one now. She doesn't need to belong to the users anymore. So I can simply check the checkbox next to that one and click the Remove button. Are you sure you want to remove the selected group? Yes. Now over to the right is the Business Unit section. So this is very important because this will give the user access to the business unit's information that you add. Now for most of you, you will have one business unit, so it's pretty simple. You're going to click Add, and you'll check off your main business unit and click Save. That's it. Some of you will have multiple business units, and you need to check off the business units that this particular user needs to have access to. So that could be all of them, or it could be some of them, a selected few. Now you guys get to decide. If it's all of them, simply check the first box at the top, which is Check All, and all of them will be selected. But if not, you can simply be selective as to which ones you want to choose, and when you click Save, those are the ones that will be added. In my example, I'm going to check all. Go ahead and click Save. You'll see all the business units added. And then once you're completely finished with this one, click Save, and you're done.